Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, the MC, professors, lecturers, dear students, and respected audience. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and selamat sejahtera. Thanks all. Thanks for ECOP 2023 Secretary and committee members for inviting me in this session. I'm going to talk on mental health issues and student performance in a positive psychology perspective. Mental health is related to mental disorders. World Health Organization defines mental health as a state of well-being whereby individuals recognize their abilities, are able to cope with the normal stress of life, work productively and fruitfully, and make a contribution to their communities. In a general point of view, mental health denotes to an individual's ability to develop, to manage life surrounding, and participate in social activities as well. However, the definition of mental health has been revised as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease of infirmity. Mental illness denotes two various types of mental sicknesses and feature abnormalities in cognition, emotion, or mood, and the highest integrative aspect of human behavior, such as social interactions. Mental health and mental sickness are two different notions that establish two sides of a spectrum. Entire conditions that fall between these two sides are reflected as mental health problems. Mental health problems can affect many areas of students' life, reducing their ability, their quality of life, academic achievement, physical health, and satisfaction with the college experience, and negatively impacting relationship with friends and family members. These issues can also have long-term consequences for students, affecting their future employment, earning potential, and overall health. Mental health problems can affect a student's energy level, concentration, dependability, mental ability, and optimism, hindering performance. So, that depression is associated with lower grade point average, and that co-occurring depression and anxiety can increase this association. Depression has also been linked to dropping out of school. Many college students report that mental health difficulties interfere with their studies. On a survey, college students identified that following mental health issues as negatively their academic performance, stress, about 30% of students, anxiety, about 22% of students, sleep difficulties, about 20% of students, and depression, about 14% of students. Campuses feel the burden when students with mental health difficulty do poorly on coursework and drop out of school. College and universities must be prepared to address the psychological impact of suicide on other students, as well as on teachers and staff. In 2021, in a study, high school students, about more than 4 in 10 students felt persistently sad or hopeless, or nearly 1/3 experienced poor mental health. Also, in a study in 2021, more than 1% students seriously considered attempting suicide and attempted suicide. Mental health in adolescent. Poor mental health in adolescent is more than feeling blue. It can impact many areas of a teen's life. Youth with poor mental health may struggle with school and grades, decision making, and their health. Mental health problems in youth often go hand in hand with other health and behavior risks like increased risk of drug use, experience violence, and higher risk sexual behavior. Because many health behaviors and habits are established in adolescence that will carry over into adult years, it is very important to help youth develop good mental health. Mental illness is an element which creates disorder in thinking processes, as well as behaviors which results in an inability to handle life ordinary demands and routines. Some of examples of common disorder of depression: bipolar disorder, dementia, schizophrenia, and anxiety disorder. The outcomes may include changes in mood, personality, personal habits, and social withdrawal. Mental illness is a worldwide problem, which 1 in 4 family has at least one member with a mental disorder. According to Malaysia Health Minister, there are about 4.2 million people languishing from various mental health issues. On the other hand, a study by Ministry of Health Malaysia indicated that about 29.2% of the adults above 16 years old are facing mental health issues. The figures show the increase of mental illness among adolescents. This situation is worrying, and if this number keeps hiking up, we may face some serious problems where we will be led by an unstable future leader. The existence from professionals recognize the 5 factors of mental issues, namely the identification of mental health issues, support from parents and environment, positive paradigms and expectation of healthcare professionals, and finally, the impression towards the problems. The most important factors that needed help is the initial stage, which is the identification of mental health issues. People believe that this identification is a turning point where they become conscious of the frequent occurrence of mental illness and the acceptance on getting help for the arising problems. Mental illness affect individual feeling, mood, as well as thinking processes. This condition eventually disturbs the ability and functions that relate to others. Mental illness usually exists during young adulthood. Young adults will go through a series of changes which affects their lifestyle. Some of the examples may include a stressful job or home life, victim of a crime, entering college life or workforce, marriage, children, divorce, job changes, or jobless. These examples can bring added stresses and hesitation. In order to deal with such uncertainty, mental illness repeatedly affects those who are in late teen years or in their early 20s. According to American Psychology Association, mental illness distresses both women and men equally. The finding also reveals that women experience more depression compared to men, whereas men are more likely to experience an impulse control or substance use disorder than women. There are many factors that may lead to the mental illness among students. Financial problems, chronic disease, and social relation are the main factors of mental illness. Mental health among students. Mental illnesses are brain-based disorders which usually end in various symptoms that can affect our daily life. Schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and major depressive disorder are three commonly diagnosed mental illness. Mental illness can cause disruption to thinking processes, emotional state, and routines. Researchers found that mental illness was experienced by adults as well as university students. This is due to a unique environment that often requires students to balance the various roles and tasks they need to take. Hence, the mental illness phenomenon among university students is a topic that often becomes the study materials of most researchers. Mental illness discusses the mental health conditions or disorder that impact of thinking processes and behavior. Mental illness contributes to 15% of all recognized diseases worldwide. Moreover, according to the World Health Organization, over 450 million people live with a mental disorder. The organization also added that poor mental health is linked with a mental disorder. The organization also added that poor mental health is linked with certain factors, namely rapid social prohibition, unwanted lifestyle, threatening issues of violence, and physical ill health. Mental health is equally important as physical health in human life. Mental health is seen from both good and bad perspectives. In an individual life, the person might experience both perspectives inequally. Those who are facing mental health problems should need someone help to overcome it. Proper treatment and protection towards mental health among children and youth are essential for individual development in future. Epidemiology on health problems among university students is very common. However, the actual cause which lead towards mental problems among students is still uncertain. Ignorance toward mental health is a major cause for improvement in mental health problems among learners. Researchers also revealed that the students who have experienced depression have appropriate knowledge about symptoms and treatment for depression. Hence, it can be seen that most students who have essential knowledge on mental health have experienced it, which is considered as unhealthy for future generations. Normal people do not necessarily have good mental health. It is essential for students to handle good stress that can balance mental health and the environment. In addition, mental health can equip someone to overcome the challenge in their life. People with good mental health will know to face the stress well. To deal with stress, one can do daily activities or exercise, leading to his or her ability to generally to contribute to the public and society. Thus, good mental health allows a person to generally live a balanced life. Poor mental illness is a serious and unrecognized public health concern. For example, depression, anxiety, panic disorders, agoraphobia, schizophrenia, and bipolar disorder continues to lower the work productivity. According to Ministry of Health Malaysia, depression was one of the causes of death in Malaysia. National Mobility Health Study conducted by the Ministry of Health Malaysia, 1.8% of adults in Malaysia suffer from depression, and 1.7% of them are suffering from anxiety. Antecedent of mental illness, and individual with mental illness faces difficulties, struggling on their own. Mental illness can be coped with, but it depends on the person's ability to identify and manage the problems. First, the symptoms show up in various ways such as hallucination, delusion, anxiety, or mood swings. Second, the society lack awareness about the mental illness can cause the affected person to face difficulties and become worse. Thus, mental illness is not only focusing on symptoms, but also the reaction of society, which will bring the awareness towards the illness in a person. Financial districts, as this research concentrates on students in higher level education, three variables have been identified that influence mental illness among students. Firstly, financial distress causes mental illness in students. The question may arise, why are students facing financial distress? As it may seem that they do not any commitment to undertake. According to a researcher, financial distress is caused by financial situation which include personal, family, and various other financial conditions. In this, financial behavior is related to education, financial independence, and risk tolerance. This can be said because the students pursuing higher level education are unable to cope up with the loan itself. This has argued the student to find alternative ways to get sufficient financial assistance to support their expenses throughout the semester. This action creates stress and worriedness and can lead to mental illnesses. Moreover, if the family are also facing financial difficulties. Health condition is also another variable that cause the student to experience mental illness. A number of teenagers and youngsters are affected by prolonged health conditions which leads to the mental health issue. Chronic diseases such as cancer and diabetes lead to mental illnesses, and this happens because they are unable to accept the reality or the sickness that they are experiencing, resulting in mental instability. This may also lead to various suicide cases among people if they cannot recover from such mental illnesses. Socialization is a factor which almost of all students, especially those in the first semester at university, will face as they go through a transition process. The transition process will be different across students. Some may go through a smoother transition, while others may take a longer time to adjust. This scenario can be related to when the student achieve academic excellence at school level, but are unable to give the performance as well when they are at university. Higher competition in pursuing academic excellence puts stress on students in realizing their provision. Other than that, age became a barrier for certain students in university who are not willing to accept other opinions if their friends are younger than them. Usually, mental illness can be experienced in many situations such as isolation, lack of sleep, high worriedness, and biological symptoms. The next section, we discuss about the study of this research. The relationship between financial distress and mental illness is understood to be the most common factor that may lead to mental illness in an individual. However, the researchers concluded that the individuals who have suffered financial problems for long period are more likely to have negative effect on their cognitive and emotional well-being. The relationship between financial difficulties and poor mental health faced by the student has been discussed in another session. In order to investigate the relationship, a number of undergraduate students have been taken as a sample to measure the relationship between financial distress and mental illness among students. In relation with the finding in a study, it has been found that greater financial difficulties create an atmosphere for greater depression for the student. The period of adulthood is ordinarily related with a mental health problem because it is a monumental life change which happened to this youngster and introduce the element of financial responsibility. A researcher concluded that financial stressors were certainly connected with high anxiety and depression among college students. That has become a serious factor that students are always concerned about during their higher education study because the student loans are usually not sufficient to be fund their expenses. After deducting the college fees, the remaining loan amount that they receive to cover expenses is much lower. The amount they need to use throughout the semester will be a greater stress as the prices of certain things that need to be purchased increase. In addition, researchers also stated that low-income students usually receive a common source of aid. Hence, this financial help is insufficient to fulfill their financial needs. Financial difficulties are usually faced by the students who come from poorer families. They find it difficult to smooth their expenses, causing them to find other sources of income. In this case, certain students fall into worse depression, which result in abandoning their studies. Therefore, the following session on any study is about financial distress that might be positively related to mental illnesses. The relationship between health condition and mental illness health problems are understood to be one of the factors that may lead to mental illnesses. Past research show that there are a number of teenagers and youngsters affected by serious health conditions which led to mental health issues. Therefore, it is important to address this problem and promote a health care policy that integrates psychological and behavioral intervention along the medical. This in a study also suggested that more controlled studies need to be done with emphasis on the effectiveness and cost of sex regarding mental illness. In various research, it has been stated that less assignation in medical and mental health care can cause death, especially for those who experiencing serious mental health problems. Other research pointed out that only 40% of people in the especially in the United States who are experiencing serious mental illness receive general medical treatment. So that's in other countries. Furthermore, in the United States, the lifespan of people with severe mental illness, according to Public Mental Health Agency, in 8 states, from 1997 to up to 2000 and after that periods, was reported to be at least 30% shorter than that for the general population, whereas in another countries such as United Kingdom it's only 65%. Therefore, based on the finding in related to the countries should be taken into considering seriously, especially to another third world country, or the third world student that study in any university in the other Indian country or the overseas of their country. Another important to discuss about is about postnatal depression. An example of mental well-being problem. It seems to affect the effectiveness and parental role development, social outcomes such as marital dissatisfaction and marital breakdown. There are various factors in social relationships that affect student mental health, such as family pressure, education, and peer factors. According to a study, top 5 determinants that cause stress among students are changes in sleep routine and diet, semester break, increased workload, and receiving new tasks. This is due to various responsibilities and tasks that need to be accomplished by students in university. Moreover, family are also major contributor, either being the causing factor or also becoming the support system in enduring the mental illness. The factor most strongly and consistently associated with increased risk of developing poor mental health included students with experience of trauma in childhood, and also students with autism. Factors that promote well-being include developing strong and supportive social networks. Students who are prepared and able to adjust to the changes that moving into higher education presents also experience better mental health. Some behaviors that are associated with poor mental health, including lack of engagement both with learning and leisure activity, and poor mental health literacy. Improved knowledge of factors associated with poor mental health and also those that increase mental well-being can provide a foundation for designing strategies and specific intervention that can prevent poor mental health and ensuring targeted support is available for students at increased risk. Positive psychology. Now I talk about positive psychology. Is the study of what is right about people, their positive attributes, psychological assets, and strengths. Its aim is to understand and foster the factors that allow individuals, communities, and society to. The asset-based paradigms of positive psychology offer new approaches for bolstering psychological resilience and promoting mental health. Ultimately, a greater synergy between positive psychology and public health might help promote mental health in innovative ways. Mental health promotion seeks to foster individual competencies, resources, and psychological strengths, and to strengthen community assets to prevent mental disorder and enhance well-being and quality of life for people and communities. Positive psychology is the study of such competencies and resources, or what is right about people, their positive attributes, psychological assets, and strengths. Its mission is to understand and foster the factors that allow individuals, communities, and society to thrive. It complements theories and models of individuals, community, and organizational deficit with theories and models of assets. Positive psychologists offer new approaches for bolstering psychological resilience and for promoting mental health, and thus may enhance efforts of health promotion generally and of mental health promotion specifically. Health promotion strategies in general include implementing health-enhancing public policy, creating supportive environments, strengthening community action, developing personal skills, and reorienting health service to enhance health. Public health has focused its effort on these health determinants, primarily as they relate to preventing physical illness, injury, and disability, resulting in increased longevity. Similarly, clinical psychiatry and psychology have been successful in identifying, classifying, and treating mental illness and disorder, resulting in better quality to life for many. However, just as the 1986 Ottawa Charter for Health Promotion shifted greater attention in public health from disease prevention to health promotion, positive psychology shift attention from pathology and dysfunction to positive emotion and optimal functioning. Underlying both of these shifts are the fundamental views that health is more than the absence of illness and that fostering individual and social resource. Positive psychology shift attention from pathology and dysfunction to positive emotion and optimal functioning. Underlying both of these shifts are the fundamental views that health is more than the absence of illness and that fostering individual and social resource can lead people, organization, and community to thrive. In public health, this shift has also become evident in the field of mental health promotion, seen as an integral part of health promotion practice. Common to both mental health promotion and positive psychology is a focus on positive mental health and empowering resource, broadly inclusive of psychological assets and skills, essential to human fulfillment and well-being. Activities and programs and foster positive mental health also help to prevent mental illness, highlighting the benefit of mental health promotion to overall population health. Assessment of positive mental health and related outcomes such as well-being can help in supporting and evaluating health promotion and public health wellness initiatives. Thus, positive psychology deserves a place in health promotion, and health promotion theory and methods can enhance positive psychology research and practice to improve population mental health. Whereas discourse on human fulfillment is rooted in ancient Western and Eastern philosophy, as well as in more recent disciplines of human development and humanistic and educational psychology. Positive psychology applies a common language and an empirical approach to the study of four areas. First, positive emotion, that is happiness, gratitude, fulfillment. Second, positive individual trait, that is optimism, resiliency, character strengths. Third, positive relationship among groups. And fourth, enabling institution, that is school, work sites, that foster positive outcomes. This contrasts with post-World War II psychology, which concentrated on repairing damage using the prevailing disease model of human functioning, that is mental ill health, while largely ignoring psychological aspects. Example, courage, kindness, and positive aspect of behavior. Example, responsibility, compassion, that could also exist in therapy. The focus on mental ill health is causes, symptoms, and consequences, resulted in stigma associated with these factors. Epidemic use of the term mental health to describe treatment and support services for people with mental illness, and vague language, especially among the public, about what mental health means. positive psychology does not claim that mainstream psychology is negative or less important because it's focused on pathology and mental illness. Its aim is not to deny the distressing or unpleasant aspect of life, the value of negative experiences of human development, coping, and creativity, or the critical need to ameliorate distress. Despite what its critics say, positive psychology seeks to provide a more complete scientific understanding of the human experience, including positive and negative experiences, to better integrate and complement existing knowledge about mental illness with knowledge about positive mental health. Researchers have addressed this critic objection, which are primarily concerned with adaptation, goal temperament, heritability, forecasting, recall bias, and accurately measuring or intervening on well-being. Research from multiple disciplines suggests that positive mental health and well-being can be measured relatively accurately, and that appropriately targeted intervention can affect well-being. However, more research in positive psychology that generalizes to the broad population is warranted. Given the benefit of positive emotion, positive psychology parallels efforts in mental health promotion to advance the value of positive mental health in individual and society. With positive mental health. First, about positive emotion. Many people know about the benefit of negative emotions such as fear, disgust, and anger in securing our personal safety and survival. That is fight and flight. And the harms of increased stress level, narrow response for action, and withdrawal associated with negative emotion. Fewer know that positive emotion, that is joy, interest, contentment, quell autonomic arousal, signal approach, and safety, and prompts individuals to engage with their physical and social environment by exploring new objects, people, or situations for review, sieve, or likewise. Yeah? Although sometimes confused with related affective states such as short-term sensory pleasure, example, satiety, warmth, and longer-lasting positive moods. Positive emotions are typically brief and result from personally meaningful circumstances, example, joy from our social encounter. And now about broaden and build. The broaden and build theory of positive emotion proposes that positive emotion broaden people's attention, expand cognition, example, curiosity, creativity, and behaviors, example, exploration, play, and consequently foster physical, intellectual, and social resources, example, intelligence, mastery, social competence, for optimum functioning. So, whereas negative emotions are adaptive in the short term, positive emotion may be adaptive in the longer term by building personal resources that function as psychological reserves for continued growth. And now about regulating negative emotion. Moreover, positive emotion can more quickly quell or under the adverse effect of negative experiences by reducing stressful reaction, example, increased blood pressure, and returning the body to a balanced state. For example, in previous study, individuals involved positive emotion such as contentment and mild joy were prompted immediately after a stressful situation had faster cardiovascular recovery. Example, reduced heart rate, worsen constriction, and blood pressure. Then did thus in a control group. According to the broaden and build theory, resilient people experience positive emotion more frequently and recover more quickly from specific life stressors. Now it's about biological markers of positive emotion. Positive emotion have numerous health, job, family, and economic benefits. In numerous cross-sectional studies, positive emotion and positive evaluation of life are associated with decreased risk of disease, illness, and injury, healthier behavior, better immune functioning, speedier recovery, and increased longevity. Longitudinal and experimental studies show that positive emotion precede many successful outcomes related to work, social relationship, and physical health. Growing biomedical and related research support the view that positive emotions are not merely the opposite of negative emotion, but independent dimension of mental effect. Positive emotion and negative emotion appear to have different determinants, consequences, and correlates, but differentiating this requires more study. Positive emotions are partially heritable. There is an estimate of heritability range from 0.36 to 0.81, suggesting a genetically determined set point for emotions such as happiness and sadness. The expression of genetic effect, however, often results from environmental stimuli. Social context matters because it can affect the opportunity for and the frequency of expressing positive emotion. The frequency of positive emotion predict well-being better than does their intensity. Furthermore, individuals, circumstances, and social contexts are amenable to intervention by public health, mental health, and positive psychology practitioners. Several interventions described in this essay describe that and essay have succeeded in boosting positive emotion and minimizing negative effect and depression over time. This growing literature demonstrates that positive emotions are important psychological resources to be nurtured rather than only enjoyed as brief, elusive outcomes. Positive psychology intervention, example, those that promote resiliency, optimism, or gratitude, may enhance the value of public health intervention based on effective behavioral science theories. Example, stage of change. And methodologies. Example, motivational interviewing. In improving health outcomes, framing individuals and population health communication messages around positive experiences and emotion may foster behavior change better than using messages based on fear. For example, thrift campaign links its brands and its health service with the theme of living life fully and happily, and may be more moral boosting for some. Now we look at positive individual traits. Positive individual traits include a number of positive dispositions present in individuals to different degrees, such as creativity, bravery, kindness, perseverance, and optimism, which, when cultivated, can increase resiliency, buffer against psychological disorder and other adversities, and promote mental health. Several methods exist to help individuals improve their resiliency and identify their positive disposition. Now, about resiliency and optimism. Resiliency is the process of positive adaptation in the context of adversity or risk. Resiliency helps people to cope with life challenges and confers a sense of mastery over one's life. Promotion of resiliency can occur within person. Example, coping optimism. Among person, social support, and across social level, that is public health or educational system. Studies of resiliency focus on positive adaptation and achievement and stress the importance of promoting competence. Example, autonomy, goal-directed, nutritional fortification of foods, or indirectly, example, after-school programs. So, support congregate meal program through its network or area agency on aging, not only to provide meal to older adults, but also to promote social interaction and social support that may confer greater psychological resiliency. Parenting intervention and preschool intervention are effective in boosting resiliency in mother and children. Positive psychology offers a approach for improving individual resiliency that may be relevant for public health intervention aimed at school, worksite, health care setting, and area agency on aging. For example, individuals can change their explanatory style, that is, how they interpret day-to-day events and their interaction with others. Specifically, they can learn skills for more optimistic way of thinking and reacting to improve their resiliency. Besides certain personality characteristic, example, dispositional optimism, and the physical and social environment, explanatory style can predict depression and other negative physical health outcomes. Skill based on learned optimism, such as challenging belief, avoiding thinking traps, calming and focusing, and putting things in perspective, can improve psychological resiliency and in individuals. This skill closely resembles cognitive symptom management, effectively used in interventions such as the chronic disease self-management program. However, expanding the use of skills like learned optimism to the broad population hold promise for promoting mental health. One program, that is the Pan Resiliency Program, or we call PRP, is a group intervention delivered to children aged 8 to 15 years after school that teach resiliency skill based on learned optimism. The PRP has been effectively implemented in the Western country, and also Eastern countries like US, UK, Australia, China, Portugal, that providing evidence of its effectiveness in the diverse cultural setting. Students learn to adapt more optimistic explanatory style by detecting inaccurate thoughts, evaluating the accuracy of those thoughts, and challenging negative belief by considering alternative interpretation. Students also learn how to negotiate, make decisions, and relax. In 21 study, about 1920. 21, most of which use randomized control design that comprise about 3,000 children. The PRP prevented this disruptive behavior for up to 36 months and depression and anxiety symptoms for up to 2 years, especially in students with more severe symptoms. Thus, a mental health promotion intervention like the PRP may reduce the likelihood of onset of mental illness in children, but it requires more study. The PRP works equally well amongst boys and girls and for children of various racial ethnic background. Similar school-based intervention has demonstrated improvement in empathy, cooperation, assertiveness, self-control, coping skill, resilience, and other social competencies aligned with positive mental health outcomes. Some applying in organization resiliency training model. And that is a resiliency training model after the PRP to its comprehensive soldier. This is for in the soldier organization. So there is comprehensive soldier fitness program to support the optimal mental and physical health of them for them. Yeah, as in 2000 above. They has supported resiliency training for its entire staff, yeah? As well the applying resiliency training model in another in the organization. Now it's about character strengths. With respect to mental illness, professionals have applied a common language and diagnostic criteria to identify and treat mental illness using the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorder, 4th edition, DSM-4. However, the DSM-4 is explicitly designed to diagnose and treat mental illness, but provide no guidance to assess positive thoughts, emotion, or behavior. In 2000, with growing interest and support from the field of positive youth development, Peterson and Silverman organized a research team to develop a scientific classification scheme comparable to the DSM-4, as well as assessment strategy to identify psychological strengths. After extensively reviewing literature from multiple disciplines, this team considered cross-cultural validity, possible unintended political consequences of their efforts, example, value-laden application, such as selecting people on the basis of strengths, and the implication of creating a classification system versus a taxonomy. Team members assumed that character-like traits were stable and general, and that character strengths were not bound to culture. They then identified explicit criteria that guided their classification system to identify character strengths of human goodness and excellence of character. In conclusion, positive mental health is a resource for everyday living and result for individual and community assets. The health promotion theories, methodologies, and population available to public health partner offer greater reach for positive psychology practitioners to implement and evaluate their intervention across diverse socio-demographic subgroups and community settings that currently receive little attention. Likewise, the asset-based and affirmation paradigms of positive psychology offer additional strategy for mental health promotion. Mental health promotion and positive psychology offer the public an updated way of thinking about mental health, and that provide for the richness of human experience, additional way to describe and value the full spectrum of mental health, to lessen the stigma associated with mental illness, and to initiate conversation about mental health, enhancement of psychological screening, and evidence-based individual, community, and social intervention that can enhance positive mental health. Ultimately, greater synergy between positive psychology and public health might help promote positive mental health in innovative ways that can improve overall population health. That's all for me. Thank you.